morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before I introduce the next District 2 City Councilman, I'd like to introduce myself first of all. My name is Sam Stevenson. I want to talk to you about the importance of an address. You see, I was born in the East Terrace housing projects. I soon moved to 271 Dorey Street, right around the corner from the Hill, notoriously known for its drug activities in the 80s and 90s. Over the next 15 years, I was able to attend Wheatley Heights Head Start, Gates Elementary, Martin Luther King Middle School, all culminating in my graduation from Sam Houston High School. See, I'm a true product of District 2. Whether it was from the first whooping I received from trying to set myself on fire, or witnessing one of the many murders that I saw right there on Bellinger Street, or some more positive notes, like when I attended a lunch date with then First Lady Barbara Bush, or receiving my scholarship to Southwest Texas State University. See, I am a true product of District 2. I look back, and anytime I look for a leader, I look at where he came from. So when I cast my vote for president this past fall, I didn't vote for Barack Obama because he was black. I voted for him because of where he came from. I looked at his family. I looked at his address. And his address represented a family, a multicultural, racial unit that would move forward and accomplishing whatever they could. So, as we get ready to launch into the District 2 City Council race, I ask that you look at the address of the man that we have chosen to support. Look at where he came from, look at what he represents. And saying that, I would like to introduce the next District 2 City Councilman, Wright.
Good morning. I'd like to talk to you a brief moment about how residency becomes a moral issue. Politics is nothing if not a process, one that is guided and conducted by rules, many of which function as law. Thus, when practicing politics, one must begin by knowing, understanding, and functioning within the laws of politics. Surprisingly, these are so few that there's ever an attempt to create laws that have an effect of closing the barn door on many an impropriety, if not immorality, committed within the political arena. After all, there is something about the possession of power, or the pursuit of it, that makes many a person abandon the most common of moral sensibilities. Consider, if you will, the Watergate break-in or the Iran-Contra affair. The case we consider today is clearly one of a much lesser scale, but exemplary nonetheless. It concerns the issue of the location of one's residency in respect to one's interest in running for public office, specifically in council office in the city of San Antonio. A review of the rules reveals two critical things. One, that persons running for city council office must reside within the boundaries of the district in which they will serve. And two, they must do so within a specific limit, 6 months prior to filing the deadline of February-March 2009. Failing in these two qualities, the individual who puts himself up as a candidate must withdraw his intentions and disengage from the process. Residency has no other characteristic than to be domiciled in one's home within the district borders and not a seasonal resident. It does not substitute the requirement that one conduct business in the district, nor does the ownership of other property qualify the hopeful candidate. Unless the candidate resides in one of these properties and a record of the residency is clear, he is disqualified from running for council office within that district. Even his good works within the district will not qualify him, sad though that may be. There is no ambiguity on the matter, even though officials and citizenry sometimes look the other way on the matter. The wisdom of the rule is clear. The candidate might know the joys and the sorrows of those whom he or she seeks to represent in that office. And all the national examples to the contrary are not to be construed as permission in this case. RFK and Hillary Clinton's examples. Reason would hold that any individual finding himself in this situation would recuse himself from the running of the office while he fixed the problem. Common sense and personal character would drive one to this end. However, common sense doesn't always apply in politics, and personal character is often compromised by the allure of power. These shortcomings are what call laws, judicial reviews, and other compelling mechanisms into play. But sometimes even those do not alter the circumstances. Lawmakers, judges, and others drag their feet, equivocate, and resist their responsibilities for intervention, which leave an impropriety in the place to be resolved by others, usually the electorate itself. Even though authority and process exist among and for those governing, matters of impropriety often go unaddressed. In the matter of a non-resident council candidate, his name may remain on the ballot as he becomes the electorate, who must deal with him and the issue he drags into the public forum. This will always be a complex matter for the electorate. For one, some of the electorate will favor overlooking the issue because they favor the candidate. However, the electorate, like the candidate, is obligated first to the rules, even though those who manage these rules fall in their responsibilities. It is quite a simple matter. Because the candidate is not a resident of the district, I will not vote for him. After all, if I must be a resident of the district to vote for its council candidates, the candidate himself must also be a resident. It is grossly unfair, with all the rules and attending rules managers, that the individual voter must become the responsible party in the matter. However, if it becomes incumbent on the electorate to handle this matter, handling it is easy. No votes for non-residents in District 2. It must be noted that to allow a non-resident candidate to prevail and to even win an election is tantamount to saying that the District 2 electorate may, if it wishes, hire a non-resident for its council position or person. Now, if this is the case, many within the electorate might wish to have a defined process by which to hire its council persons. And at this time, no such process exists. And clearly, the voting process and current rules do not function as a process for such a circumstance. So the electorate needs to be careful what it will allow. It has been said in other places that what is moral is good, right, and compelling. Thus, if we examine this issue, we do what we find that is good. So what is good? The rule of good is compromised immediately upon ignoring the rule of residency. First, change the rule to allow non-residents or the candidate must move within the district within appropriate time. Pretty simple. Next, what is right about the issue? The rule of right is compromised because the behavior is skewed from the law. To run for a district council office, one must be a council resident. The candidate's behavior is misaligned with the process. Furthermore, it is right that the electorate must become the judges and managers of this issue. Should not the candidate himself manage his own behavior first? And if not him, then the officials who are in place to ensure ethic and legal behaviors within elections. Finally, what is compelling about this issue? With an abundance of candidates, the electorate is not at risk of coming out of this election without a council person. So the withdrawal of this candidate for this election does not put the citizen of the district at risk of representation. Additionally, the presence of an unqualified candidate is in no way safeguards the rights and needs of the citizens. There is no compelling reason for an exception in this case. Personal character alone is the compelling component of this issue, and this component allows the disqualified candidate to withdraw on the highest moral ground, with regret perhaps, but clearly not without shame, or clearly without any shame. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't need another hero, a Superman who flies outside of the district to solve our problems. Heroes solving our problems is a thing of the last millennium. We have changed in District 2. We've had enough of Charlie Brown and Lucy's antics. We need someone to kick the ball and score. So we look down the bench for a new ball holder and a kicker. Because it is said, in order to discover a new land, one must be willing to lose sight of the shore for a very, very long time. With the courage to change, we ask Pigpen to hold the ball steady, and we ask Franklin to kick it as hard and as far as he can, thus allowing us to leave the distant shores of 40-plus homicides in the district this year, thus allowing us to say farewell to disengaged citizenry, including the common man in our decision-making at City Hall, thus allowing us to swim past the great currents of economic hardship that have washed us back to shore for the past 30 years or more. For these reasons and more, I do not seek your support for the mayor of San Antonio, nor for the distant seat in Bexar County, but the District 2 seat that resides right here in this building. It is the right time, it is the right place to get our community, our everyday citizens, on the right track. Byron Miller, you need to know that the next council person to board this train will board it from our community, not another's. If it is good enough to serve in, it's good enough to live in. Thank you.